Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League, live tonight from Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps here in Belgium. 4.35 miles and 21 corners. Drivers in the BMW MH teams to take on, and it is going to be an exciting race here tonight from one of the most exciting racetracks in the world. Storied and difficult tracks as well, as you see drivers out here in the qualifying session trying to get to the top of the boards. Andy Scheel currently with the fastest lap time. Brian Kennedy finds himself second, just about a tenth behind him. But it is race 8 of 10 here tonight in this 40-minute format series that we've been doing here through the fall season. Getting close to the end of the run. Take a look at the points coming into tonight's race. Into the event tonight, it is Steve Ficacci with multiple race wins this season, finds himself atop the points. Darin Treakle not far behind him, trying to track him down here tonight. Both drivers on the grid right now currently scored 4th and 5th, with just under a minute left in qualifying. We'll see if they're able to. Both drivers out there on the racetrack at the moment. You also see Brian Kennedy, Stefan Bappa, Mike Pavolano, Adam Pohl, Clint Fletcher, David Curtis, Peter Lanik, and Tully making up the rest of the top 10. Really, the only for the championship might be the top 5. Really, it's just those top 2 with tonight and 2 more races remaining. Be a tight battle for the championship. It has been pretty much every season we broadcast these guys. Go to Road Atlanta next week, and then the Nürburgring for the season finale. Should be a very fun one to watch there. But let's take a look at the drivers on the racetrack. Qualifying coming to a close here. The starting grid will be going up in just a moment. Tonight's race brought to you by SEO Mike and Beltway Brewing Company. You can learn more about them in the video description or at the halfway break in tonight's event. Qualifying charts, it is still Andy Scheel, Brian Kennedy second, Peter Lanik third, Darin Treakle got the camera on right now, trying to improve his lap time from the 4th position. Ficacci also out here making his way out of the final corner back to the start-finish line. Let's see if he's able to improve on this one. And not going to be an improvement over his best lap time. Very consistent, though, just 600ths off his quickest. But still about 4/10 off of the pole time. Here's Darin Treakle on the racetrack. We also see Scott Kim in the Batmobile. He's able to put down his best lap time and go to 14th on the charts. Like Pavolano out here on the racetrack as well. Colin Kortnick, the 32 machine, he finds himself on the racetrack, but left here in the kind of cool down period of qualifying. An eye on Darin Treakle. What is he able to do here? Forward to a very entertaining race tonight. These guys have put on a lot of great events. And oh, Darin just a little too hot into that corner. One of the last ones on the course. Was looking to be a pretty solid lap. It's definitely going to be a count, first of all, but secondly, be any quicker here. As much Pavolano on board with him through the high-speed section. Over 160 miles an hour as we ride on board with him here. Get down into the braking zone here underneath the Bridgestone sign. Hard to the right, and he's going to do the same thing that Darin Treakle did. How about Colin Kortnick taking it behind the wall? That should pretty well do it for the qualifying attempts here tonight. Carlos Bonds still on the racetrack. 48 seconds left. Not sure he's going to get back in time here. And what an entertaining season it has been. Of course, cheer on your favorite drivers. Let us know you're out there, who you're rooting for. Who do you think is going to win tonight's race? Looks like Andy Shield is going to be your pole sitter here tonight. Brian Kennedy going to throwing off from the second. Atlantic in third. Scott Kim trying to improve here. Lap, not able to. Carlos Bonds into the final couple of turns. Looks like he may improve lap time. It was faster, about 4/10 quicker, but not able to pick up any grid. Now head to the starting grid in tonight's race by SEO Mike and Beltway Brewing Company. Check them out. As mentioned, I want to thank you for tuning in here to feed for tonight's race for Spa. Rolling off from the front row, it's going to be Andy Shield, the 007 machine. Job there. Nice lap time by him. Take that top spot, and of course the top 15 earning bonus points for their qualifying position. Rolling off from the second spot, it'll be Brian Kennedy, the number 77 machine. Peter Atlantic going to start from the third position. Darin Treakle will start from fourth as he tries to chase down Steve Ficacci in the championship, rolling off from the fifth position. Fletcher starts in sixth here tonight. Starting in seventh, it'll be Dean Queen. Eighth will be Stefan Vappa. Ninth will be David Curtis. Michael Pavolano is going to round out the top 10. 11th tonight, it'll be Colin Kortnick. Rolling off 12th, it'll be Matthew Gazenda. 13th tonight will be Mike Nickum. 14th, Scott Kim. Carlos Bonds will start from the 15th spot. Robert Benson finds himself starting from 16th tonight. Rafael Torres not taking a time here. He's going to start from 17th. Watch for Rafael to make his way through the field. The driver who's had a lot of speed. A lot of the past seasons. This season, no different. Watch for him. Top 5 by the end of the race. I have a track map for you here tonight. Down there in the bottom right hand of your screen. We are live tonight on YouTube and Facebook, so hello to wherever you're watching from. I hope you do enjoy tonight's broadcast. We're live Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, at least for the next handful of weeks here. Thursdays will be off following the conclusion of this season until 2023. You will hear a new voice with us at that point on Thursday nights, maybe a familiar voice to some of you in the road racing community. Forward to kind of a new chapter of things here at V-Speed beginning in 2023, and guys are going to be a part of that as the pace car makes its way onto the pit lane. Andy Shield in control of the field. Start finish line, green flag in the air from Spa for race number 8. The BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. Down into turn 1. 007, he's going to get clear of everybody else. Darin Treakle. Ficacci going to swap positions there for 4th and 5th. Make their way up Eau Rouge. Up towards Eau Rouge. Speeds of almost 160 miles an hour before they even get to the top of the hill. Look at this field. Good size field tonight. 17 drivers. Brian Kennedy already going to challenge for the race lead. What's he going to be able to do here down into the chicane? Not able to do anything. Way too deep. Here comes Steve Ficacci. Already picked up 2 positions. He's trying to get another one here all over the 77. Behind him, Peter Atlantic in front of Darin Treakle. We've got a little separation back behind Stefan Vappa, back to Matthew Gazenda. We've already had a driver, I think, go around. That was Colin Kortnick, 32. Third 11th. He's back to 17th. Not sure what happened exactly. Finds himself about seconds behind the race leader. Eye on this battle for the second position, though. Here on lap number 1, lap time's just about 2 minutes and 15 seconds around this over 4-mile racetrack. Really high speeds here, 165 miles an hour through that corner. The car almost wanting to step out underneath the 00. Now down in the final couple of corners, this is where we saw drivers have issues in qualifying, but back on the throttle there. We do have a big bobble. That's Peter Lanik slow, the inside of the racetrack. Here comes Darin Treakle, going to take fourth away, down into turn number 1, and then behind him, Michael Pavellano, trying to make the move. A little bumper tap there from Clint Fletcher. Arm no foul. Field works back towards Eau Rouge. It is nose to tail from about fourth on back, and the top 3 have broken away by now over 3.5 seconds to Darin Treakle. How about Andy Shield, 007? I'm not sure Andy's raced here with us this season. Or if he has, it's been a little while, but he started on the pole here tonight. He's already led 1 lap. We'll have to make a pit stop at some point. Top 3, though, driving away. Darin Treakle is going to do his best to break away from the rest of these cars, as Clint Fletcher and Michael Pavellano going at it. Pavellano way off the racetrack there. That's going to allow Clint Fletcher alongside. They'll race it down into the next corner. It looks like Clint Fletcher should be able to take the spot away. Look at that, nose to tail, about 5 or 6 cars. Looked like an opportunity back there. Stefan Vapa, he got passed up. That was Rafael Torres, who's already moved up 8 positions the first lap and a half of this race. Keep an eye on that 777, always on the move. Already about 7 seconds off the race leaders. That is incredible, the kind of pace that those top 3 are putting down. Race leader Steve Ficacci, though, trying to do what he can to keep up here with the top 2. Ryan Kennedy finds himself in the top 5 in the points as well. He's trying to gain as many as number 1 there. Nice job by those 3 drivers as they continue to pull away. Darin Treakle not able to fight back. No drafting help for him. He is able to pull away from Peter Lanik now by about a second. Have to hope for some mistakes from 3 front runners. Farther back here, still pretty much nose to tail. We've got some damage on the nose of Matthew Gazenda, or Rafael Torres. And Stefan Vapa also quite a bit of nose damage. Not sure what happened to the 97. Side by side behind them, though, Mike Nickham, Matthew Gazenda. Gazenda going to lose that position. Takes 11th away. Carlos Bonds now closing in on them. Carousel over here. End of the racetrack. Matthew Gazenda struggling just a little bit with the handle on that car. Carlos Bonds not able to take advantage. Scott Kim, the next one in line, and currently scoring points. 14th. Dulin runs 8th right now, starting to close up on Michael Pavellano. Pavellano, a little bit of issues right here, but that has allowed Dean to close right up to the back bumper. Be able to make a move. Approaching the heavy braking zone right here. Not able to do anything with it. Works through there. You see Darin Treakle streak on passing the 4th position. Last time by, he was the quickest car on the racetrack, so no count out. 70 machine. Ficacci losing a little bit of ground, maybe just trying to save his stuff. He pushed it really hard the first few laps. Top 2 fighting for it. Andy Shield, Brian Kennedy nose to tail. Heavy battle. Here comes Brian Kennedy, looks driver's left into the chicane. What's he able to do here? Tried this move once before, not able to work this time either. Atlantic, Clint Fletcher tail here as well. Clint, one of those drivers last season in the GT4 cars, was an absolute force. He came from last to first in multiple races to take victories. So far this season in the GT is not quite the same success, but you can see he has improved steadily throughout the season. That 04 car working on a top 5 finish here tonight. Close to about 10 minutes into the race, he is all over Peter Lanik right now. They're having a good solid race as well. Started 3rd, running in 5th. Phil Torres has since lost the position. I wonder if it's nose damage. Affecting him on the straightaways. Stefan Vapa also has some, but he's gotten past 7. Oh, and contact. Around goes the 294 of Lanik. The 111 of Michael Pavolano gets collected. What happened here? Battling with Mike Fletcher. Oh, and he just lost it, just like we saw in qualifying, and then nowhere for Michael Pavolano to go. Hopefully not too heavy damage for their driver. Peter Lanik goes from a top 5 position back to 9th and damage. Got Stefan Vapa and Michael Pavolano right here in front of him, so could get a couple of those spots back. How about Steve Ficacci closing back up to Brian Kennedy? Like battling back here. This is really where all the battles are. Look at this 2x2. Got Stefan Vapa, the yellow car there. His driver's right. Michael Pavolano, and then Rafael Torres. Peter Lanik battling it out there. Looks like Rafael will take the 9th spot. Okay. Lanik, great run back around the outside and a little bit dirt track in there. Oh, in contact. Around goes Peter Lanik. What a save, though. Little help from Rafael Torres to turn him, and then a little help to save him. Back and take a look at this from another vantage point. Yeah, Rafael just clipped the grass there a little bit. Car up the track. Peter Lanik has gone from 5th to 10th here in the course of about a lap, and he's collected quite a bit of damage on that race car, so he's not going to be too happy about that. But contact for the lead. Andy Shield goes around. Goodness, so much happening here. The last few moments, watching the replay, what happened? Was it the same thing that we've seen? Starts losing the car and then gets tapped by Brian Kennedy. Ficacci sneaks on through, and so does Darin Treakle, and that will close him up tremendously. And now it's the top 2 in the championship, running 1-2, and Brian Kennedy side by side through Eau Rouge. That is dangerous. Andy Shield's gone from 1st to 4th, just like that, and he's got Clint Fletcher all over his back bumper. Somehow Steve Ficacci's gotten out to the point here. That is not what the field wants to see. That double zero car, so dangerous when he gets clean air. Treakle just want to put some pressure on him, force a mistake out of Ficacci. There's Ficacci flashing by, and then Darin, Treakle, Brian Kennedy, Andy Shield, Clint Fletcher, and a little ways back, Tooling having quite the run here in 6th position. Actually, really solidly in that spot. He is 5 seconds up the road from Stefan Vapa in 7th. So, could be looking at a top 5 finish here if he plays his cards right. Last 27 minutes of this race. Darin Treakle is on a mission right now. He is absolutely flying. Maybe collecting a little bit of draft from Ficacci down into the final couple corners here. What can he do to close up? Lap times at the stripe. Ficacci 1:14.28. Treakle 1:14.7. How that works out. Closed up a lot there in the second part of that lap. Possible you lost those 2 tenths. They were side by side through Eau Rouge. Much separation here amongst the top 5 in this race. You know, we've become accustomed to seeing some races where the leader just drives away, battles on for second, but in this one, Ficacci in the lead away a couple laps ago. Kept things very, very close, and Darin Treakle kind of, I think, at the peak of his tire wear here. Got some incredible lap times at the moment. Problems for Clint Fletcher, who's in the wall. In the sand trap, rather. What happened to Clint? Just lost it under braking. Got to wait for everybody to get rolling here, and he falls all the way to 4th after challenging for a top 5 position. But fortunately, Clint out of position to gain back here throughout the race. Darin Treakle definitely in drafting range here for some of these long straightaways. Closed up, it's about 3/4 of a second now. Battle between the 2 heavy hitters. Darin Treakle trying to gain as many points as he can on Steve Ficacci. We'll see if pit strategy plays a role in this one. But he is definitely closing up at the line. Ficacci 1:14 flat. Darin Treakle 2:13.3. 7 tenths quicker. Now he's got to deal with a little bit of dirty air. Have some draft here through sections of the racetrack, though. We'll see how much that helps him. Got a big run going already, a couple of miles an hour quicker, and that is only growing. Look at the run here. He's going to be right on his bumper, headed down into the chicane. Not going to make the move this time around, though. It's just a car length between the top 2 drivers, nearing the halfway point in this race. Brian Kennedy, Andy Steele, 3rd and 4th, and then Dean Tooling has taken over 5th position. If we had a pit stop, it looks like David Curtis brought it in about 4 laps ago. Not sure what happened to him. Fletcher falling to the back there, costing him that has promoted Dean up into a top 5 spot. Another solid run here as he top 10 points. Battle for the lead is on here, and the more these two fight, the closer Ryan Kennedy is going to end up closing in. Such an incredible racetrack here, though, in Belgium, home of the Belgian one race, Grand Prix here. Tell you what, Andy Shield, he's on a mission as well. He's about 4 tenths quicker than the race leader. Give up this kind of pace, he'll be right back in the fight of the event. Definitely been strong here. Now change for the race lead, though. Ficacci gives it up to Darin Treakle, who got a great launch out of the final corner. After turn 1, Ficacci all over his tail. Able to put the power down very well, though. He's going to lose quite a bit. Getting back up to speed here through Eau Rouge. How much he blows back up here, but Treakle doing exactly what he has to do. Came in with a 3-point deficit. Ficacci for the championship lead. Already out qualified him, and now try and beat him in the race as well. Wonder if Steve Ficacci maybe just burned his stuff up a little bit on those first couple laps. Happened to make a few lucky passes early on. That got him the track position. Now Darin Treakle, who got a little better long run speed possibly. Take that spot away. We'll have to wait. Nearing the halfway point here, just about a minute until that halfway break. Fighting stuff here for spot. Top 5 drivers separated by just 3.5 seconds. Got to go back another 7 seconds. Dueling. No other real battles to speak of on the racetrack. Kortnick and Scott Kim separated by about 6 or 7 car lengths. Actually, Fletcher is closing in on them as well, so that could be a battle just outside the top 10. Eye on the race leaders here. Ficacci, nice run up behind, just a car length now. What can he do? Try and set up the pass here on the front stretch. Be able to do it that time. Halfway point in the race, though. These two fight for the lead. We're going to go to the halfway break. Hear a word from our sponsors tonight. Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Oh, Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh! Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins an Auto Club.
Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV area. Check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzers. Savory and delicious empanadas by Peruvian Brothers are now available in their tap room. For all things Beltway, go to beltwaybrewco.com and follow at Beltway Brew Co. on social media. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. Back at the racetrack, nothing has changed. Darin Treakle's still out in front. Steve Ficacci just 2 car lengths behind him. Ryan Kennedy not able to close up, but he's now got a challenger, Andy Shield. Still one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. He is closed right up. Now we see Michael Pavolano bring it to pit road. Clinton Fletcher's brought it in as well. Couple drivers there. Their pit stops. You see Rafael Torres has brought it in. Matthew Gazenda also has brought it in. Mike Nicklin brought it in last lap as well. So drivers, their stops, and they're going to go to the end here. When do the leaders pit? What makes a difference? Outcome of this race. Have a really nice in lap and out lap. Top 2, the class of the field all season long. Field has gotten around Brian Kennedy, so nice job there by him. Try and get back on the podium here tonight. He's got about 4 seconds to make up, but he is one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car on the racetrack. Top 2 still pulling away just a little bit for the moment. Starting to fall back a little closer to Stefan Bappa. Right there in the distance. Starting to close in quite a ways. Him still battling it up with Colin Kortnick. That's been a intense battle. Now inside the top 10. On the leaders, is anyone going to bring it in here? Oh, top 4 all stay out. Julian, what does he do? He'll stay out as well. Stefan Vappa. All that nose damage, you want to get that fixed sooner rather than later. Peter Lanik? No, Carlos Bonds has brought it in. Passed up by Colin Kortnick and Scott Kim. Brian Kennedy, Andy Shield, who got together earlier on, now nose to tail once again. Time for 3rd and 4th instead of the race lead. Now they race each other here. Andy, I'm sure, not too happy about the contact that took him out of the race lead. As they run at the moment, pretty quick pace with the top 2 as well. An interesting dynamic with these 2 groups of race cars. Forward with Andy Shield, who led the first 4 laps, and Darin Treakle has led the last few here. Steve Ficacci took over from Andy. They all made contact up there battling for the lead. Top 9 drivers have yet to make their pit stop, but I would expect the leaders to be in here pretty soon, if not this time. Here comes Darin Treakle and Steve Ficacci. Late commitment there. Andy Shield will bring it in. Brian Kennedy is going to stay out. Papa also bringing it in. He'll get the nose damage cleaned up on that race car, which will help him out a lot. Might be able to get him a top 5 finish. See how long they stay on pit lane. Oh, it's going to be a drag race off pit road. Even seeing the wall is so high. They're inside of each other. And Steve Ficacci able to get the lead away. Exactly what he needed to do. Atlantic has brought it into pit lane. And can be still out there. He is your current race leader. It's a really nice job by Steve Ficacci. 7/10 quicker on pit lane, a 6/10 quicker pit stop. Wonder if he took a little bit less fuel, and tight it is for him here to the end of this race. Andy Shield still able to close up a little bit on those guys. He had an excellent pit stop, 9.4 seconds. See how tight it is on fuel for him. That may be just barely enough to make it to the end. But at least gives him a shot to get within striking distance. Maybe a little bit of draft will help him out here. Atlantic Michael Pavlano in to do battle here as they've both exited the pit lane near each other. 8th and 9th position. One to watch throughout this event. Last 11.5 minutes here. Question is, can Steve Ficacci hold off Darin Treakle and Andy Shield? To protect that few point lead that he's got. Able to hold off Darin here. The 2 drivers yet to make a pit stop. That is Brian Kennedy, who's now pulling it into pit road, and then you've got Colin Kortnick, about 25 seconds further back here, yet to make a stop. Here comes Steve Ficacci and Darin Treakle and Andy Shield, who continues to close up on those two. It'll be a 3-horse race here. 10.5 minutes left. There is Colin Kortnick going to pull it in. Ryan Kennedy just working his way off pit road here. He will have lost the back bumper of Andy Shield. Second, though, as what comes from staying out one lap longer. Here comes Darin Treakle, gonna look drivers right. Ficacci just gonna give it to him. He does. Trying to set him back up for a crossover move, but not close enough. Interesting. Darin Treakle just drove right on by. He goes a little wide through the corner there. Here comes Steve to close up. Be able to set himself up. This could be very much like we see at Daytona, where it's just whoever is running in second on the last lap is able to go up there and leapfrog for the win. Andy Shield is kind of stabilized right there in the 3rd position, now 1.8 seconds behind. Now the top 2 have flip-flopped. I think Darin Treakle's going to pull Ficacci along just a little bit quicker than they were other May. Other battles on the racetrack, not too much to speak of. Bunch of drivers separated by about a second each. You see Quinn Fletcher, Carlos Bonds, Colin Kortnick, Scott Kim, Matthew Gazenda. Those are all 4 position. That's pretty cool. Got 9th through 13th. All within distance. Scott Kim goes a little bit off course there. That'll cost him 12th. And Matthew Gazenda going to go right on by. Mile 4 the race leads. Ficacci about 3 car lengths behind, working our way towards Eau Rouge. He might be close enough to mount a charge here at the top of the hill. Nice run there up the hill. Look at the big charge he's got going here. Flashing the lights, trying to distract him a little bit. Close right up with that draft, but into the braking zone. Make the move. Very different approach to that section of the racetrack for those two. Andy Shield not able to do anything with them. Oh, a little bit there on brake pedal. Awesome stuff here from Spa tonight. We've seen great battling, controversial moments. Just about less than 7 minutes left. Come down to these two championship leaders, and they may very well be tied up here at the end of one tonight. They just winning races off of each other. It's incredible. See this between drivers. The next 2 weeks are going to be fantastic to watch. Coming to this week, Ficacci 4 wins, Darin Treakle 3 wins. They'll be even. They're the only 2 drivers with wins. Shows you why they're running up here. I mean, these guys, they are experts. Darin and Steve both do real-world racing, BMW Car Club of America, and guys race against each other on a regular basis. So that's really cool. Here comes Steve Ficacci now. Nice big run at the top of the hill. He's going to be able to get alongside here just about, but he backs out of it. Still 5.5 minutes in this race. He's got a few more laps, more opportunities to do that same thing. Have to be close enough, though. He is hanging right with him in the Rick's Flicks car. Insurance machine out in front, though. 6 circuits around Spa so far. Steve Ficacci's led 4 laps. Andy Shield has led 4 laps. Brian Kennedy with a lap led. Had a change for position back here. Peter Lanik finds himself 7th after a pretty strong start to this race. He's recovering. Fletcher's having a really nice recovery, actually. He fell all the way back to about 14th. Finds himself in 8th, so just that raw pace from the 04 tonight. He's pretty close to the lap times of the top 3 or 4 drivers, so shows you he definitely has the speed tonight. Rafael Torres is out here too. Made 2 pit stops in the race. Starting 17th, he charged all the way up to about 9th in 2 laps, and then collected some damage. Falling back, but you could be struggling with the wheel hop in that race car. Lost it going into the corner. Front, Darin Treakle's extended the lead a little bit here. Ficacci now closer to 2nd behind. Under 3.5 minutes left. It's going to be 2 laps to go next time by. Ficacci, he's going to have to be about half this distance away if he wants to have any shot at a win. find something in the 00 machine. Back a little farther, Colin Kortnick closing up to Carlos Bonds. A nice run on him here at the top of the hill. Be for 10th position if he makes a move here down into the braking zone. Driver's right. Make the move into the chicane. And he will take the spot away. Carlos Bonds now back to 11. Matthew Gazenda right here behind them. Scott Kim not far behind. So guys could make or lose some spots here in the final moments. Who is gaining a little bit of time here, though, that is Andy Shield. Picked up 2/10. Ficacci, who's lost ground. And back to 2 laps to go. I believe it'll be 2 laps to go at least. That is the distance right there for second position. Ficacci not able to gain or lose anything. I'm seeing white flag there on the racetrack, actually. Come back around a minute and 26 seconds to go in this race. Darin Treakle with a nice lead, about 7 or 8 car lengths as they work up the hill. And Andy Shield has closed up to about 4 car lengths behind Steve Ficacci for second place. Is the podium right here. They've separated themselves by 6 seconds over Ryan Kennedy. You see just around the corner there. Be the top 3 in this race. It's just what order will they be in? Look at Steve Ficacci closing up here. He's gonna be able to make something happen second half of this lap. So tough through this section of the track. Gets a little bit of clean air on the nose this time, now about 6/10 back. These chicanes, you know, it's just all about aerodynamics, and the leader with the biggest advantage there. And Ficacci close up it all. Nice run at the exit there. He gets now down under 6/10. Gonna be a battle here. White flag is out. This is the last lap. Trying to force a mistake. A little blinking of the headlights. Darin Treakle, he has been mistake-free tonight. 8 laps led. It's coming down to the final few corners. Look at Steve Ficacci on the ragged edge here, closing in. He gonna be able to make a move here in the final 2 corners. Sends it in deep, tries to switch it back here, but it's gonna be Darin Treakle with the win at Spa tonight. Steve Ficacci holds on for second, and Andy Shield bring home the 3rd position tonight. Really great last few laps from Spa. Enjoyed that one, folks. That's about as good as it gets here. Other battles to look at. Matthew Gazenda, Carlos Bonds, about 3/4 of a second between them, but everybody else separated heavily. This is too much for Gazenda to make up. But the sun has set here in Belgium. Final 2 corners. Be looking for a mistake out of these guys, but not gonna happen. Kornick hangs on for 10th. Carlos Bonds 11th. Matthew Gazenda comes home in 12th position. So that will do it from Spa tonight. Thank you for joining us here on V. Let's go talk to our top 3 finishers in tonight's event. Race winner here tonight, that's going to be Darin Treakle. All right, Darin Treakle, your race winner. We're going to see if we can pull him into the booth here. Is Darin Treakle, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do, Adam. How are you doing?
Hey, not too bad, man. Very exciting race here tonight from Spa. You had to fight your way back from behind Steve there the last few laps, and then you had to hold him off over the last handful of laps as well, and you end up taking here tonight. Describe tonight's race and all that battling out there.
Yeah, it was quite the battle. I didn't quite start where I was hoping on the grid there. I actually had a really good qualifying lap that would have put me ahead of Adam, but I threw it all away in the last chicane there. And then I could never recover after that. But regardless, it was still a good qualifying session. And then it was. I knew it was gonna be a little dicey. Those guys took off. I was battling with Peter. I was able to get by Peter. Then I was just kind of hanging out by myself. And then a gift from the heavens came down when Brian and Andy came together, and that allowed me to catch back up and of course sneak through on them. And then it was me and Steve up front again, and we just did our thing. And I had just maybe a tad bit more pace than him, not much, but just enough. I was able to get by, or maybe he let me by to kind of follow me for a while, because you can do some last lap passes here at Spa, and but luckily I was able to pull out a little bit of a gap to where I didn't really have to worry about it. So, and Andy drove a heck of a race by he caught up to us, so he was rolling.
Yeah, he was one of the fastest cars out there. After he got turned around, he was about 4 seconds back for a while, and then got up there in the mix there, but just a little too late. But it comes down to you and Steve here for the win tonight. You guys both have 4 wins this season. Nobody else has gotten to victory lane. We got 2 races left, and it's going to be very tight exiting the race. We go to Road Atlanta next week. How do you feel about going out?
I like Road Atlanta. I usually do fairly well there. It depends on the track conditions. If the car moves around a lot, I may not do as well. But I like Road Atlanta. I know it well. I suspect that hopefully if all things go well, I'll be up front again. But these guys are fast, and you never know. Brian was right there in the mix at the beginning. So it's any weekend or any race, someone could be up front and could take the win. But I feel good about going to Road Atlanta. The one after that, not so much.
Yeah.
So
that one's a little bit of a wild card, I think, for everybody here. So could be an interesting couple of final races, though. You came in 3 points behind Steve. You beat him in qualifying, and you beat him in the race by 1 position. Both of those segments. So it's going to be very tight, like I said, but take the victory tonight. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first give a shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. That's V-Speed, and then SEO Mike, and then Sten over at Beltway Brewery for being the main sponsors, and then Scott for putting this on. And then, I'll give a shout out to myself, Treakle Insurance Agency. We work with Haggerty Motorsports, insuring race cars, and do track day coverage, etc. Anyway.
Awesome, Darin. Well, congrats on your 4th win of the season. Very, very fun race to watch. Catch you next week at Road Atlanta.
Sounds good. Thanks, Adam.
Darin Treakle, race winner here tonight. Let's go to 2nd place finisher. That is going to be Ficacci, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
How are you?
Hey, pretty good, man. Very exciting race there between you and Darin. Pushing the lead back and forth throughout the second half of the race. Just describe that from the driver's seat here tonight, and everything that happened. You running up in the top 3 and taking the lead through the cycle and all of that.
Yeah, I feel like I need to put a little bit more time into preparing for these races. I typically use the qualifying to kind of get the feel of things, but everybody was just so damn fast, and I think I panicked and started pushing, and I couldn't really. I never put a lap together. Andy was really fast. I never would have got that fast. I think I think I had about a 12.8, so I probably could have started second or third, but fifth was where I started, and fortunately we were able to move up pretty quickly. Was able to get to Kennedy in second, and follow those guys for a bit till they made their mistake. But those guys got together in the whatever the bus stop at the end there. That really changed the race, I feel, because I mean, it's hard to judge everybody's pace at a track like this. There's just so much draft. I feel like Darin and Andy were probably pretty close. I feel like I was just off a tick. Was hoping to use a little strategy to kind of grab the win. And then in the pits, I kind of knew I'd be a little bit faster than Darin, just because that's usually what happens. It's not huge; it's just enough, and we kind of our cars were on top of each other.
Yeah.
And and fortunately, I was just in front of him, so I think he was probably like looking at the back of my helmet and couldn't see anything. So even though he was in no danger, he couldn't see, so he had to concede at least out of the pits to let me out front. And I knew after that, if we raced a lot, this could have been a 5-car race. So I wanted to just kind of put down good laps, and when Darin went to pass me, I didn't want to go side by side too many corners, and just fall in behind him, and then make a clean move when I could. And I feel like he ran great. He didn't make any mistakes. I mean, he might have missed an apex here or there by, I felt like 6 inches, but he never gave me any opportunities.
Yeah, there was a couple times, I think when he just passed you there after the pit cycle, he missed the one corner, and I was like, oh, there might be a shot there, but the window closed just like that. And
yeah,
ultimately, you guys were very even, both 4-time winners this, and a couple races left here. Go to Atlanta next week. You think you can get one there?
I think so. So since I joined this league, I feel like Road Atlanta's always on the schedule. And when I first came in, Darin just had us all covered. And then I want to say maybe I stole a few wins the last few times we've been there. So I think maybe I evened it up. So 50-50, maybe 60-40. But no, it'll definitely be close. And that huge straightaway is just the great equalizer, right? I mean, it takes a lot to really pull a gap where that straightaway won't pull you back together. So, it'll be a good race, and hopefully, just use our consistency. Like today, there were so many guys with fast times, and we just kind of, throughout the race, we kind of dropped them, not because they're slow, just because they, can't keep up that pace for too long. But it's tough, especially like these huge drafts just kind of bring everybody back in, and it's hard to say,
There's enough technical sections, I think, here at Spa that you guys were just so smooth, were able to pull away, and dirty air, especially as you get farther back in the compounding. Definitely, very entertaining to watch you race it up here. Final 2 races. But second place tonight from Spa. Anybody shout out to?
Yeah, sure. Just I want to thank my wife, as usual, for letting all this happen, and I want to thank my friend Matthew Barbour. He allowed me to be part of his race team, drive one of his cars this year, and we shook down one of his cars and another car this weekend, and things are looking good for next year. So thanks to those guys.
Awesome. That's cool to see you guys doing the real world racing out there as well, and good luck with all of that. But great job here tonight, and catch you at Road Atlanta.
Thank you.
Ficacci, second place finisher. I do not see Hill out here home in third after starting on the pole. Really a fantastic race from him. He got turned around there, final corner while leading. Fell about 4 seconds back. He ends up third place, pretty much right on the tail of Steve Ficacci, Darin Treakle. So nice run for Andy. Sorry he's not out here tonight, off for an interview, but shout out to him, and hope to see him back next week. He's definitely got good contender here. So hope you did enjoy tonight's broadcast here from Spa. This is race 8 of the BMW Car Club of America National League. White night. Let's go to the full race rundown from the race this evening, presented by SEO Mike and Beltway Brewing Company. Darin Treakle, your race winner for the 4th time this season, holds off Steve Ficacci, who comes home second. Andy Shield comes home third. Brian Kennedy finishes fourth. Dean Tupin in fifth. Sixth was Stefan Vappa. Seventh, Peter Lanik. Eighth tonight was Clint Fletcher. Ninth, Michael Pavolano. And rounding out the top 10 was Colin Kortnick. In 11th position, Carlos Bonds. 12th tonight was Matt Senda. 13th, Scott Kim. 14th, Mike Nickham. 15th, David Curtis. 16th, Rafael Torres. And rounding out the field, Robert Benson. All drivers on the lap. That is really key. Good job by everybody out here. Competitive. Things pretty much clean. Really put on a good show for us once again. We'll be back on Monday night. Below the Double Yellow Contender Series. That one from Homestead. Heading in then Tuesday night in the Premier Series from Homestead. And Road Atlanta next Thursday, right? BMW Car Club of America, the penultimate race. Drivers in the Fall Championship. Thanks for tuning in here this evening.